Okay, for wide receiver starts, we got another Seahawk on the list. We love the Seahawks for some reason on this show. We just keep going back to them.
Yeah, and Tyler Lockett, but he had a stinker last week. 3.7 fantasy points. I thought he would smash Arizona. It did not happen. I'm going to keep him in my lineup, though, against the Chargers. They've surrendered 18-plus fantasy points to 4 different wide receivers this year, so I think Lockett bounces back in that game. And hey, how about Allen Lazard? We're not giving him nearly enough credit. I mean, look at his numbers in the last 4 weeks. 13-plus fantasy points in every single game, including 2 games with more than 17 points. He's got the Commanders this week. They've given up the 4th most fantasy points to perimeter receivers, so start Allen Lazard.
I'm looking at your wide receiver sit list right now, and I know what you're going to say. I hear your voice in my head. Don't chase the points. Am I right about Juju?
You are. With Juju. Juju had a big game last week, but we never know which wide receiver it's going to be for the Kansas City Chiefs. And then look at the matchup against the 49ers. They've allowed 2 touchdowns and the 5th fewest fantasy points to wide receivers. So when you see what Juju did last week, don't go and chase it. I would temper expectations. And then Drake London, who we told you to sit last week, remember that hot start he had, Jen? He has really cooled down. 15.2 combined fantasy points in his last 3 games. He's got the Bengals this week. It's not a good matchup. Wide receivers who start out at the perimeter of their routes have averaged the 4th fewest fantasy points against Cincinnati after 6 weeks. So Drake London is a fade.